I think Milos Forman is not that great of a caster.
Though I do think One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is really well cast.
As far as I'm concerned, as far as his American movies, that's the one.
That is the one.
That's the one. All right, and so I'm not going to say anything against. Well, I will say one thing. It's not against One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. It's not against it, but it is obvious, and I didn't know it before until this year. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is Cool Hand Luke. It's the exact same movie. I mean, it's the exact same diagram of the story almost. It's just, crazy people as opposed to convicts. But almost every aspect about it's the exact same story. Actually, they were both smashes. Okay, well, now you're making a good case for Foreman, because Foreman kind of made a wacky comedy.
He did.
I think that's what they wanted. And he drug a wacky, you almost can't believe what you're watching from time to time scene. And the fact that he would let a scene play out and get the laughs. And right there, among the rock clubs and across the street from Ben Frank's coffee shop, sat the Tiffany Theater. The Tiffany didn't show films like Oliver, Airport, Goodbye Mr. Chips, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, The Love Bug, or even Thunderball. The Tiffany was the home of Woodstock. These were the movies that Tiffany played. And while the Tiffany wasn't the first theater in Los Angeles to play the Rocky Horror Picture Show, or even the first one to have regular midnight screenings, in terms of the legend the film would become, it was the first cinema engagement where much of what constituted the Rocky Horror phenomena really exploded. Coming in costume, shadow cast performing, callbacks, theme nights, etc. Throughout the 70s, the Tiffany would continue to be the counterculture home for head flicks. Some successful, some not. Soon, the Tiffany would be far less of a scene than it was, because the head movies that came out from 1972 on were more afterthoughts of a niche market.
Well, that's one of the things I wanted to talk about when it comes to getting an audience response. It's not always not even just positive. It's not always raucous and cheering. It's a thing about watching a film with strangers. Now, running a revival house, I can tell you, and this has been the case, I think, for the last 40 years. And this used to be a staple on revival houses. Whenever there was a screening of Pasolini's Salo, there always is a violent moment in the audience. Every single screening of Salo for the last 40 years, there's always somebody who can't take it and has a violent reaction. I remember the first time I saw it was 88 or 89. No, I think it was 90. It was 90. I was with my old girlfriend Grace at the time, and it was at the New Beverly, decades before I would own the place. And I was at the New Beverly. The movie's been going on for a long, long time, and this woman stands up in the back of the theater and says, "Pasolini was beaten to death on the streets of Rome, and I say good riddance." Of course, no, she walked out. No, it was a parting shot as she walked out the door. That happens at every screening of Salo, unless it's some Pasolini film sponsored retrospective where it's all package wrapped. But if it's actually just a regular screening, even at a revival house where people don't exactly know what they're buying a ticket to see, there always is, every time we screen it, there's always is a violent reaction at some point in the movie. You need to watch it with 40 people enduring it with you. I mean, normally it's an audience chortling at a movie.
Yeah.
It's them turning against it, usually where they're laughing at it or saying this is bullshit, but not where they're turning angry at the film and fighting back. It's the power of that movie that it actually, in every screening, it gets maybe not as perfectly worded as her, all right, but at every screening it gets some sort of thing. It's not like, okay, I've had enough of this and I'm going to leave. People are shouting as they leave. They are fighting back at the movie. If Hammer made Salo, it would be Hellraiser. Actually, not the worst person describing Hellraiser.
Barry Lyndon. Barry Lyndon.
It was because I did that with a lot of people, and I had them break it down to American films and British films. And the one that fucks up everything is Kubrick. Okay, are they British? Are they American?
Barry Lyndon. Barry Lyndon.
Barry Lyndon, I think, is British, but I don't think 2001 is.
I see him as an American director.
And that's a British movie, man. That counts. Doesn't that count?
Barry Lyndon. Barry Lyndon.
Okay.
Well, I wouldn't have been a Nazi about it, but I'm just... Well, that's why I said it fucked up everybody.
Thinking about the Barry Lyndon aspect of it in England, all right, with the king, all right. These savages and the French, damn heathens. This movie's very funny. It's like a little tableau of the king. The England. Oh my God, Barry Lyndon. Barry Lyndon. You know, I didn't see that at first, but no, you're right. It's exactly Kubrick's satire of this time. And then I saw it was funny, and I saw the dichotomy going on. Barry Lyndon. Barry Lyndon.
Russ Meyer's Supervixens. I actually remember when this opened at the theaters. It existed, when it opened up, it existed in that time where Russ Meyer and Radley Metzger were actually getting legit theatrical engagements of their movies in regular movie theaters. And so the thing about it is, I remember actually going with my parents one night to see some movie at the UA Marina, and one of the movies playing was Supervixens, and this was on this poster of Sherry Eubanks was on the wall, and there was the whole audience waiting to see this X-rated movie, because it was like not triple X, it was just 1X, but it was like an X-rated movie. I've been reading a whole lot of the reviews that Kevin Thomas used to write for the Los Angeles Times, who is sort of the guy who he was the second string critic for 20 years. 3 different first string critics. He was always the second string critic. He reviewed all the foreign films that came out and reviewed all the exploitation movies. Now, two of the people he was the biggest champion of was Russ Meyer and George Romero. I'm rereading all these Kevin Thomas reviews, and then I come across the review for Supervixens. And so I'm reading it, and I'm like, oh, it's really interesting. And then he makes this big thing about, and then there's this violent scene that happens. It's just so terrible. It's just so terrible. And it keeps going on, and it's just so awful, and it just completely derails the entire movie. And you can never quite get into it again because it's just so horrific, and it's just so awful. And it's too bad, because up until then the film had this really sense of great spirit, and then the movie tries to get that same spirit again, and it kind of does. It slightly does, but it's marred by how ugly that scene was. Well, I gotta see this fucking movie. I gotta see that scene. That was a fucking commercial to me. Wow. Oh, dang. That was a fucking rave. I have got to see the scene that's that intense. So I started watching Supervixens. Now, to let it be known, I'm a huge fan of Russ Meyer, and especially an incredible fan of his technique. What did we watch the other day? There was this... It was a Russ Meyer editing. All of a sudden, like, oh my God, they're doing Russ Meyer. I do not appreciate as much when he delved more into camp as he did. But this actually exists on the line, as campy as it is. It exists on the line before he dived headfirst into camp. It is disturbing. There's a potent quality to it. So it still has that violent aspect and that rough quality aspect that his other earlier movies did. But from up on, it's just all ridiculous. But here's the thing about it. Well, it takes place in this weird universe where every woman is named Super.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
Yeah, the Super Angel, Super Vixen, Super Lorna, Super Rosie, right? Which is fucking awesome. It's a fucking great idea. Yeah. And they all look like super beings, all right? And they all look like they're bursting out of their comic book costumes. So the story is, there's this kind of sexy stud, kind of schnooky guy who's sounds like a Russ Meyer character, who's works at a gas station as a mechanic, and he's got this wild, vivacious bitch, all right, for a girlfriend named Super Angel, who is like every horrible, sexy battle axe you've ever seen in a movie, like all rolled up into one. And she kind of gives an amazing performance, because
I've never seen her before. I've never seen her again, and she just dominates every time she comes in screaming. And I like the lead guy too. The lead guy has something. I don't know if I ever needed to see him in anything else again. I don't mean that as a bad way.
No.
But he's got a nice quality about him. I kind of like that guy. So in the course of the early part of the movie, this badass jerk cop, played by Charles Napier, who's beyond the beyond in this movie, but we'll get to it in a second. Who was one of the actors who did get out of Russ Meyer Planet. But he was pretty amazing in Russ Meyer Planet. This hot pants, asshole, macho cop is brought into the film. And at some point, unbeknownst to the mechanic, Super Angel's met the cop and she thinks he's sexy and she's a man-eater anyway. And so she arranges to have an afternoon tryst with him in her house while the boyfriend is out doing his tow truck job. And then what plays out? She ends up getting murdered, and the rest of the movie is revolving around the murder. Naturally, the tow truck driver comes home, finds the dead body, and everyone thinks he did it. And so now he's on the run. And now the cop, and the only one who, and if the cop can catch him and kill him, then the cop gets away with the murder. So Charles Napier ends up killing the woman because he tries to have sex with her and he can't pull it off, and she makes fun of him, and he ends up killing her. Okay, that's just a small little description of what happens. The scene plays itself out like one of the craziest one-act plays I've ever seen. It's one of the great violent scenes of the 70s, and the length of it is what makes it so great. The fact that it starts off small, and then it gets more sarcastic, and then it gets crazy, then it gets Tennessee Williams, then it gets beyond that, and the actors are they're knocking it out of the park. They're killing it. And I think this is a violent set piece on par with The Wild Bunch, on par with Straw Dogs, on par with Deliverance. It also smacks of those great Takashi Miike scenes. Mm-hmm. It just goes into another stratosphere. Yeah. But you're on a stratosphere. Your emotions, he's playing your emotions. Every level, he's brought you with him. Yeah. And he's jerking you fucking around. No, I saw it because I was told about it, but if I didn't know about it, I was like, holy shit, what am I watching? Yeah, I still was saying that, and I was prepared. Now, the last half hour is so goofy and so crazy, and I can't really take it seriously.
And the last set piece? Oh my God. It's so ridiculous.
So ridiculous. That was interesting. No, I agree. No, I like the reincarnated angel. She was really cool. Yeah. I thought that was a neat, crazy, ridiculous idea. Yeah. And it worked. And Sherry Eubanks is really charming, as the girl. They have a big Dallas premiere, and Russ Meyer's there, and Sherry Eubanks is there, and her family is there. And so they're down up front, and he's towards the back, and they're watching the movie, and she doesn't come in until the whole second half of the film. And so it's just dark. And all of a sudden, a couple of her sexy scenes come up where she's exposed or something. And he just hears her father go, "My God, Sherry!"